Hello. So today's work day like crazy. Let's finish this rig so I can keep moving forward with this project. Disclaimer: this is not a tutorial video. Sometimes I have no idea what I'm talking about, and this is just me showing my process and how I struggle. So most of the video will be swearing and just being desperate because maybe something will not work, but at the same time being just like cheering and super hyped because some things actually worked. So if you like to see other people process and all other people thought processes, then this is the deal. This is the deal for me, and because I learned so much from my mentors through their thought process, not necessarily how they actually draw. It's like just being able to grab other people's way of thinking helps me a lot to just expand the knowledge that I have in general for things. Disclaimer number one. Disclaimer number two. I'm drinking coffee. And for this disclaimer number two, I have to say that I'm working on a short film about a three-headed mutant chihuahua that is saving a punk city against the attack of a giant air fryer invasion. Yeah, that's the idea. And I'm building this crazy universe of cartoony, stupid, absurd type of humor that I love, and this is the one part of the process, rigging and building these characters. So hope you enjoy, and right now I'm going to go like serious mode and finish this dude because there's a lot to do. These videos helps me also a lot into focusing on the work because talking and working, dude, that uses like the 100% of my brain. So I'm going to start all of this with naming this dude like three-headed chihuahua. So the rig will be 3HC. THC, 3HC. So poop, add. So add, and then poop, composite, and then I will create a peg, and this will be the main peg for everything that I'll be building. And on top, and then here, this node is where I'm going to start the party. I'm going to group this thing, and I'm going to go inside of this thing here, and I'm going to make all the party inside of this group. So first of all, a deconstruction process of thinking, so I can move forward and faster with this dude. But first, I have to set the tone for this thing. I have to put some cool music. Hot and cold. Awesome. So, how is that I'm going to build this thing? I always go to a three-quarter view because this will the most important pose for my short film. So simple. I will have an auto patch, a triple auto patch thing with these three heads, in which I'll have an overlay for each one of these that will cut all of these. Next, what else? Well, this character looks like a complex character, but actually it's a simple rig because I don't need to turn this dude like it's like have a smooth turn from pose to pose. I can just jump from pose to pose, and let's avoid the thought process. I don't need to think too much here. Let's act. Let's act. So I'm going to create a new piece here that I'll call body, and this body I'm working with an outer line of 20. So there's 20. And I'm using simple shapes. First, I'm going to create a color palette here that I'm going to call THC, 3HC. And with this 3HC is where I'm going to start building the shape of the body. Now, let me see how this body turns. So this body will always have, we will be always be playing with this shape for the body that is something like this, tapering towards the bottom and it starts getting thicker or wider towards the top. Now I'm thinking, should I build this body like in two pieces or only in one piece? Because if I build this in two pieces, this will be something like this, and then something like, something like this. And that will give me more flexibility for the rig actually. So let's build a two pieces body. So this will be something like this. We will have another one here in the middle that comes something like this. Wait, where's my draw over? My draw through. So I have like a rough layer here. No way that I deleted that. Opa. Rough. Here you go. So here in this rough, I'll have all the construction that I designed for this dude. There you go. See this construction? So that construction, that awareness of that construction will help me to build this character properly. Wait. So something like this. Oopsie. Awesome. So if I come here again to my THC rig, come on, buddy. Awesome. I can see that the witness, the whiteness of this thing is around there. So here I'm going to create like torso, no, hips, torso. So hips, torso. Get out of here, oopsie. So I'm going to create this a composite and take this and copy this to the torso and then copy this to the hips. Then I'm going to delete this half and half, merge these both. Oopsie, let me bring this a little bit down so you can see. Forget it. Okay, let me make my screen actually. You don't have to look at me too huge. Something like this. Awesome. So I'm deleting this thing here. Black. Now I have that shape. And then black. I'm going fast because I have a lot to do and I have another more other chihuahuas to rig. So I'm going to just work, make mistakes without planning too much, and move forward and fix as I move forward. Hook. Awesome. Now the colors of this dude, I'm working. Oopsie, this is a THC color palette. So I'm repainting all of this with this color. And now I'm going to create the color skin. So I have here the colors of the characters. This is the color of the skin, black. And I'm coloring all of this in the color layer, placa. Now the torso, also the color layer, placa. And then I'm going to create an auto patch system, which I already saved here, so I don't have to do it many times. Another thing that I'm starting to think about this rig is that wait, arms toolkit. The other thing that I'm thinking also is that maybe I'll create a system for the heads and then just duplicate for each one of the dogs. So that's another thing. Okay, so I grabbed this thing from my library, which is a system of nodes in which I have the line art, color art, and auto patch here, and also the overlay layer. So what I'm going to do is connect all of this with these things and then connect it back to the composite. And this is the trick that I always use to just merge two parts in the rig. And is that with these nodes, I do the following. And this is why I say the disclaimer at the beginning, because I don't know the technical explanation of why this works, but it works. So I grab the auto patch from here and connect it to the auto patch here. Black, let me disable the rough for a bit. Let me go here to the node view. Let me disable this. And look what will happen with the body when I connect this auto patch with the cutter on this line art. So I'm telling like this is the hips and this is the torso. And I'm connecting a cutter on each one of the line arts. And I'm grabbing the auto patch from the opposite node, from the torso, cutting the line art of the hips. And the auto patch of the hips will cut the line art of the torso. Amazing. And that's it. And now what is the color art? Okay, here's the color art. Amazing. Now another thing that I forgot to do is the pivot points. I always forget about the pivot points. And for the pivot points, I do this amazing trick that I learned from one of my mentors. Cheers to Matt. So I'm coming here, oopsie, and I'm making this super small. But actually, I don't need the pivot point of that dude. I need this pivot point. So I'm taking this, I'm filling this, and then I make this super small. And then I'm tracking this point as the pivot point for the for these dudes. So I'm going to create a peg for each one of this. Command Shift P. If you are using Windows, I don't know what you're doing with your life. There you go. And then for the torso, something like this. Boop. Amazing. And then I grab this and then I get rid of this body thing. Boop. And this is rotating at the center. See? And it's rotating very beautifully. So I can have more control over this dude. Next part. Now I have to bring this clean up dude to the front so I can actually see what I'm doing and reduce the opacity of this dude maybe to 45, maybe to 45, 54 of course. And then I'm going inside of the rig. Now I have to think. Okay, now this body, this torso should cut around here. But before doing that, that disaster, I'll grab this and I'll paste it on the overlay layer. On the overlay layer is where I'm going to put all the overlapping lines that you will see here, for example, on the chest, and here, for example, on the crotch. So how I do that? I start cutting this thing around, and just using the part that I want to reveal. And this part that I want to reveal, I use my pencil editor to get to the shape of the line that I want, which is this type of shape. So I'm coming here, bloop, and tapering towards the top. So I'm replicating that same line. And because this is my personal project and I'm not following any guidelines or I don't have to be exact with a model sheet, I'm just eyeballing this and then trying to match this with the model sheet. But if you were in a real production, then maybe you have to really grab the model sheet and be a slave of it, right? I don't know. But I did this, and now what I'm going to do is take this, oopsie, and then put some deformers and align this with the other one. And cheating around with that. Awesome. So I'm going to put a common Y, display 2, black, and then I'm going to start putting deformers. I'm going to move my screen from here to here for a second so you know my tricks on how I put deformers. First of all, I create a deformation chain, always. And this means like if I create a new drawing, every time that I create a new drawing, this new drawing have no history. Have like, you can put me any new deformer that you want. So it's like awesome. You create a new deformation chain for every new drawing that you create. Amazing. And then on top of this deformation chain, I'll build a new whatever this is, like a new deformer. Yeah, new deformer. So I come here and I'll put this point here and then I'll put this point here. I'll try to put 3 points on each side, like on the top here 3 points and on the bottom also 3 points, so I can also have more flexibility on this rig. Also here, back. Amazing. And then here something like this. Book. I got a feeling. So every time that I work, I listen to music. And now that I'm recording these videos, I'm also listening to music like big time, so I cannot hear myself. Awesome. There you go. So I have here the body of this dude. Now let's go connect this display here to the hips. I'm using this workflow of having a display and moving this display from one piece to the other, so I can just isolate that part and just laser focus on that thing and don't be confused with all the things around. So I'm creating a new deformation chain, and after creating this new deformation chain, I start putting these deformers around. Same thing, 3 deformers on top and 3 deformers on the bottom, so I can have more flexibility on this dude. Wait, it should be 3 here like this. I don't care. Like if it's not working the way that I put the deformers like this, I'll just put them again. And I'll do something like this. And here I have to be conscious that eventually this shape one line will create a flow with the leg. So I have to have the number of controllers needed here to have that flexibility at that part of the rig. Awesome, beautiful. Now let's get rid of this display and we have this body full of deformers. Deformers. Awesome. Now I'm going to connect both. No, I didn't connect this to this main dude. I hope this doesn't move. Amazing. It's a good practice to always stay connected with this thing. Just if you draw things and then when you plug this to the main peg, it doesn't move to another place. But gladly it didn't happen. So let's be happy about that. I'm going to copy now. This entire body will have another pivot point and will be here at the bottom, so I can move this dude like this. So if this dude is doing something like it's a dog, but it shouldn't be like doing like a horse. But if it's doing something like this, I can grab this dude from here. Awesome. And maybe as I move forward with this project, maybe I'll be like, no, maybe not. I was hiding the node view. I was hiding the main thing from these videos. Okay, so here I'm going to create a insert backdrop, and I'm going to call this body. And because this dude is green, I'll put this green. Okay, what else? The belly. The belly, the belly. 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 It's funny because my rig sometimes is a combination between Spanish, English, and sometimes random words to describe things that I don't know how to even describe. So here the inner lines will be 8, so this will be something like this. It will be a simple circle which I'm going to put some deformers on top so I can tweak. Let's do it. Okay, display 8. Which is the color of this bell? It's a dark green. Whoopsie. I'm not that convinced with the colors of this dude, to be honest. But that's the really cool thing about Toon Boom Harmony, and is that I can anytime come here and change the color palette, and instantly will change everything instead of color picking and changing the colors on each character. So that's amazing. Display 2, and I'm going to add a deformation chain. Always I add deformation chains. And again, I don't know if that's the correct way to do this thing, but that's something that I like to do. If I create a new drawing, I can put instantly a new deformer on that. Oopsie, wait. And tonight's gonna be a good night. Awesome. There you go, 3 points here. Just in case if this dude flex or twist in some way, I can have again more flexibility on this piece. There you go. If I were not be recording this, I'll be listening to podcast or something. But it's nice. It's nice. I like to record these videos and just sharing all of these crazy presses. Now, this dude, this belly will be revealed. So the cutter, I grab the cutter and then I just double click on this black thing and it turns to white. Means that now anything that you connect here, I'm going to be like reveal on top of that thing. So I'm going to grab both the color art and the color art of the torso and the hips. And these two dudes are going to be the ones that reveal the belly. And these dude have to be in front of all of this. But the line art should be also in front of this. Amazing! And then I'm grabbing this part. Oopsie, it doesn't have like a pivot point. So I'm going to put the pivot point around here. Every time that I put a deformer on any piece, I do the following. I change this from drawing layer to parented peg. Just because this means like if I'm moving this piece with the peg, the deformer will not fall behind. So it will always be like grabbing from the peg anywhere it goes. Amazing. Oh, you see, I know some things. There you go. And I'm hopeful. I'm hoping that's true. But either ways, there you go. So I'm always trying to create shapes either with a C shape, a C lines, S lines, or Y lines. So here this thing is like an and I have to move this into like an S. Uba? There you go. Now that it makes a little bit more of sense. Awesome. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Hips, hips, hips. This is body. Oopsie. Body MP. MPP. Okay, let's go with the legs. Um. Okay, legs, 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 legs. I'm going to create a new composite, and in this new composite is where I'm going to be putting all the legs. So I can clone the front legs, and I can also create a new rig for the back legs because the shapes are a bit different, and I want to keep them a little bit closer to what they are. So I'm going to create here like upper leg, lower leg, and foot, nails. That's it. That's it. And this is the hierarchy. It's like exactly where, like literally making legs of human characters. So the hierarchy will be the following: upper leg will be here to the left, lower leg right, foot here, nails here, and then I'm going to create a peg on each one of this. And then on upper leg, lower leg, and foot, I'm going to create another peg on top, and because I'm rushing through this, I'm not going to put another name on these ones, but this will be like upper leg MP, lower leg MP, foot MP, but I'm keeping them as P P P P P P P P P, and then connecting all of this like this, black, 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 black. This is telling me like the foot is moving individually, but also will move will will be attached to the lower leg, and it's like the lower leg will move individually here, but also will be attached to the upper leg. But the upper leg also have its own independent decisions, its own free will. So that's where I'm keeping these nodes like here for each one of them, but also like this is like their masters that also controls another ones. And for the nails, this also will be controlled by the foot here, and all of these pivot points will have the same properties, like all these two pegs will have the same coordinates on the pivot points. Amazing. Now, as I already cleaned this dude, no, let's do it again. So which piece can I create here that will be easy to deform into this piece here? I have to think. Maybe a box. Maybe I can do something like this. So what I'm doing right now is thinking which of these basic shapes can I have here, and then I can also easily deform to get to that shape that I have here. Wait, let me put the legs on top of the body. Awesome. I think this box will actually make the work. So something like this. And then I can just put the deformers here that I can move either ways. Because if I create this shape and on top of this shape I put deformers, if I want to inverse this or if I want to just create another shape, it will be super difficult because it will be distorted. So I'm trying to find these simple shapes that I can tweak around, and I think this is the shape that I'm looking for. Awesome. What I'm going to do is get rid of this top part and clean a little bit things here. And now this is the piece that I'm going to put a deformer. So I'm going to put an invisible line here so I can color. I'm going to pass all of this information to the color art. Oopsie, come on, come on, come on. Wait, where are you? Okay, you come here. And then I'm passing all of this information to the color art. Then I'm coloring this. There you go. And now I'm coming here to the upper leg, and I'm going to put a deformer. So isolate this part, display 2, I change here to display 2, and then I come here, deformation of the upper leg, come here to this tool, and I start making these deformers here, something like maybe up here, something like this. Yes. Awesome. Let's put 3 points here just in case. You never know. Then I'll put this one here. And actually, I think I should put 3 points on these sideboards. Let's see. Okay, let's get out of this display. I try to get rid of those displays every time that I make one of those, just so I don't left them on my node view and then I forget about them. Awesome. So this will be something like this. Now I'm thinking if this dude will be an issue here. Okay. Let's see how this looks. I hate that rounded corner, dude. I want this to be super sharp. You see that? Compare this thing, dude. Compare. Look, you see? That is what happened when. This is what happens when I don't change this from Dragon Layer to Parented Peg. If I put this on Parented Peg, let's see if what I'm saying is actually true. If I put this on Parented Peg and then I grab this thing, it's working. Nice. Okay, the deformers, for some reason that I still don't know, are making the parts of my character go a little bit too soft. And that's something that I don't like. So you know what? You know what? I'm going to use the same lines from here to here. And I'm going to put deformers. I don't care. And if I need a different part, I'll just redraw and put a new controller on top. See. Oh, but if I create these airways, this will make this part softer too. Wait. No, this is dangerous. What I'm doing is dangerous. Let's go back to that one later. So for this one, yeah, rectangle 2. But what if I create this thing exactly like an arm and I create a joint here like this? And then I create another joint here. No, but then I'll not be able to get that sharp shape at the bottom. Unless I create a cutter for the line of the foot, but that'll be too much. That'll not be like comfortable to work with. Let's mess around. Whatever. Let's mess around. So I'm going to create a box here, black. I'm going to put these like sharp corners because I love sharp corners. I'm going to create this shape. Beautiful, amazing, extremely sexy shape. And then I'm going to color this something like this, black. Awesome. And then I'm putting the pivot point around here, black. And then for this upper leg, actually can be something like this should be 20, dude. This should be 20. This should be 20. Let's color this piece of the character. Come on, dude. The same shape. Forget it. I'm messing around right now. Then I'm coloring this. Boop. Wait. There you go. Awesomeness. Then I'm grabbing all of this. Awesome. Let's put some deformers here. Display 2. Display 2. Create here. Placa. And then let's make 3 points here. Let's put 3 points here also. So I can create super smooth curves. I was like thinking before recording this video, like if one of these videos stays like up there in the internet for 20 years from now, dude, this video will be like how we used to make cartoons. Or like 50 years from now, it's like this is how we used to make cartoons. Who knows the technology from 20 years from now, how by then people will be making cartoons. I don't know if I'll be making cartoons by then. I could be like, I don't know, a bodybuilder. Amazing. There you go, I have that shape there. And then the foot. Okay, the upper leg. Now let's look at the render view of this thing. You see how this you see how these deformers rounded, it makes my shapes rounded? I just want to I just want to I just want to cry every time that I see those things happening. So I'm copying my foot drawing here, pluck, and I'm putting this foot here. Oops. Something around here. Oopsie, something here. Awesome. Baby. Awesome. This is too dangerous. Well, I can auto patch these two. Of course, this will be auto patched, but okay, let's do something like this. I'll fix these things later. I'm not overthinking right now because, to be honest, I don't like to rig. So I just want to get out of this step. So I'm just not overthinking too much. Just working. Okay, my toolkit. Bloop. And I'm going to create a massive auto patch system here. Massive. Awesome. This comes like this. You get out of here. And you also come here. So that's why I like to just create these ones and save them to the library. So I don't have to be working on this. I don't have to create this every time that I work on a rig. I did on the first rig that I made for this show, but other than that, never again. Foot, lower leg. So my foot outer patch black connected here, and this lower leg outer patch to this. And the overlay of this dude should be superior from everything else. So I'm going to create this as an overlay. Whoop whoop. And okay, what else? Lower leg, foot. This is the foot, something like this. The lower leg, something like this. And the upper leg, something like this. So see, I'm working very roughly, but I'm having clean shapes, like clean connections. Here is super messy. So I'm going to find out the best way to connect this foot with that leg to at the same time get that that sharp edge here that I'm looking forward to achieve. So that's my main priority. It's like, how can I create that? How can I make that sharp shape there? So I'm just moving things around to see. The farmers. How can I create that sharp shape? Think, dude. Okay, okay, maybe I can tweak this corner to be super sharp. Just like this. Just like this. And these, yes, something like that. And that means that this color art, I can make this color art to cross this. But then I also have to say like my color art for the foot should be cut by the lower leg line art. No! how can I how can I extend the color art of the foot there, but at the same time I don't want it to overlap that line. So I can instead of putting these things, I can oh it's below, it's behind that line already. I have the sharp corner that I want here. So maybe I have to extend this line up too. Get out of here, extra lines that I don't need you. So what if I... Oh, this line is not a 20? Dude, what's up? 20. Oof. Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so if this is at 20 right now, why it doesn't have the same line thickness as the lower leg? What is your line thickness, dude? What are you doing in the color art? Oh, this is the cleanup. Look, I'm trying to get to those super clean shapes. So yeah, there you go. Let's tweak, let's cheat some things around. There you go. Okay, you're messing with me, huh? Whoop, whoop. There you go. Let's see what we have. Now, when I rotate, this thing will be a mess. This is the process. This is the process. Enjoy the process. Me brainwashing myself. Okay. So, where are you? Food. Not bad. Not bad. So, I have to make sure that I'm always connecting this leg with the food. Now, what if I put a deformer here, put something like this, so it doesn't destroy my waffle? Now what? Horrible! Let's look at this. Get out of here. I don't need you. If I need a new food, I'll draw it. There you go. I have the leg there. Where's my clean? Nails. So for nails, I'm going to copy the same drawings that I did here on the clean. Where's the clean? Where's the clean? Where's the clean? Where's the clean? Then I'm going here nails. And I can paint these nails with maybe a whitish, purplish color. Something like this. I'm going to put this on line art. And yep, the nails will be revealed. So I'm going to grab this color, and these nails will be revealed only on the color art and between the line art and the other thing. And the other thing. Whoop! There you go. It's working. Pivot point. Come here. Awesome. Now, nails, foot, lower leg, upper leg. I'm sad that I'm not putting the formers here because it's destroying my perfect sharp corners. But I don't care because I love those sharp corners more than I love my time. So if I need to redraw this, I'll redraw it. So I'm going to bloop, put all of this in a group. What is disconnected here? This outer patch. I'm not connecting you with anything. You should be connected with this, dude. There you go. Nothing changes, nothing changes, man. There you go, it's working. So I'm going to put this here like this. Black. And then putting this a composite here. This is the leg. So I'll put like F leg. And then I'm going to put a peg on here and clone this thing. I have everything already in order here, right? Yes. 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 So I'm going to grab this, notes, clone selected RAM, blah, 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 only, boop, connect here. Connect this here. Create a pack for this and bloop. Actually, I don't have to flip this thing. You have to move, scale, skew, move again, and then a static transformation, black, and then bake immediate blah 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 parent transformation, black. Oopsie, oopsie, oopsie. This also should be behind before this thing. This should be behind the body. Amazing. Now a static transformation, pack, bake parents transfer blah 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 immediate, boom, and then I'll put these two here, plum. See? Amazing. I have the legs there. I will pose this dude. I will get to some poses, and while posing this dude is when I'm going to figure out if everything that I'm doing right now actually makes sense. Now let's go with the. Actually, I think I can node duplicate, and I can use the same leg system that I already built, and modify certain things to get to that shape over there. So you can grab this leg, move here, make this a bit smaller. Something like this. Now, what can I move here to get to those shapes without messing up too many things? No, yeah, it have to have another shape, another deformer. The leg behind have a completely different shape design. So getting rid of the colors, using the same shape over here to create, oopsie, to create this other shape here. Shake it, baby, shake it, babe. Also, something like. No, it's not going to work. Maybe yeah, this should be something like this. How will I get to that super? How will I get to that super sharp corner there? Maybe I have another shape like here, like this. Yes, I'll need another shape there. And that shape will create that sharp corner over there. Okay, this should be straight. Get out of here. Get out of here. I don't want to see you anymore. How can I? And I have to put deformers on this thing. How can I put deformers without making the lines rounded? I need to ask for help on that. I've been postergating that too much. No! What if I just create these type of things? What if these lines are actually just like this and only have colors? And in order to create those shapes, those sharp corners, I just have to connect these lines together, something like this. But this will give me a round F corner. No if, no if, no if I do something like this. And also, and if I do something like this and this one too. Two lines that ends with this type of so then what if one of these lines actually have this shape on one side, and then I can connect both lines to get to that sharp corner. Maybe this is the way to do it. Maybe this is the way to do it. Let me flip. Yes. La concha de tu madre. I think this is the answer. I think this is the answer. And I can still use the outer patch things to merge these things together. Let's see. Before making this thing. If I take this like this, will that give me that shape? Almost. I have to massage these lines a little bit more. I have to like a ball it. Like, some of this. And if I put the formers on this now, I wonder if this will like break or something. But this will be the ideal. Is this 20? 20. So I'm grabbing this line, putting this line here, and this is what I'm going to do. To create this shape. Awesome. I'm going to create this shape. Maybe I can also taper this line just in case. Awesome. This line here is too thin. Let me massage this line a little bit differently. So a little bit thinner here. No. Wait. Let's go again. I'll figure out this thing, dude. I'm going to figure out this thing. Yeah, and the thing is, like, I don't need this line in here at the top, and the only thing that I need from here is these lines to be tapered towards the top. So I'm going to taper these lines, open here a bit, open here a bit. No, something like this, and these also come something like this. Let's work with that for now. Whoop! And then I'll fill this shape with a color here. Amazing. Oopsie, I need another one here. Let's put the pivot point here. Now. Let me put a deformation here to just look if this idea is going to work. Deformation. And then poop, 3 points here at the bottom, just in case. 3 points here. 3 points here. Three points here. Awesome. There you go. So I can do this. I can do this. I can do something like this. Awesome. So let's build that shape here. So this corner connects like this. This will go like a little bit below, something like this. Now, amazing. Now I need the other line to connect. So the other line can actually have a square shape. And if I connect that square shape there, that will actually work. Let's see. This will be like the upper leg. We will have like a middle leg. Middle leg. Black. This middle leg will be here. This lower leg will be here, and this middle leg will have a shape something like. You know what? I think I can copy and paste this shape that I drew here on this dude. Pop. Then get rid of this. Oopsie. And then make this a little bit thinner. Awesome. And then I'll take this and move this a bit here. Make this smaller. Make sure it's a 20. Yep. Now this line here is going to overlap here, and this one is going to create a sharp corner there. But in order to create a sharp corner, no, it's not going to help me. Because if I auto patch this with this, if I make an auto patch this with this, and if I move this all the way there, how is this is going to be cut there? No, it's not going to be cut. Vamos, let's go. So I'm going to try to make this thinner on one side and see if I can get to that sharp corner there. What if I cut this line art? No, come on, la concha de tu madre. What if I cut this line art also with this other line art? Or if this line art is only revealed on the color? No fucking way, no. Okay. I can do all of this in the classic method with rounded corners, but that will make my life very unhappy. And then I can just try to figure out how to make those corners sharp after putting the deformer. So yeah, let's go the traditional way of doing these things. What happened? No! Okay. Let's go. So circle here. 20. 20. Something like this. It will give me a super rounded corner. Forget it. What if I build all of this from those same shapes? Come on, dude. I will find. We're figuring it out. We're figuring it out. We're figuring it out. Let me put in savage mode. Let me put myself in savage mode. Let me change the music. Let me put punk. What can we hear? Awesome. Let me increase the volume of this like crazy. Sit down straight. It's called Carmen's. Yeah. Awesome. How this leg is connected with the body. Ah! Rough. Awesome. Now, this line comes here. This line comes here. This comes like this. I create this shape. Amazing. Sharp corner, sharp corner, sharp corner. Oof, the bevel things. I could also take advantage of the bevel things. Maybe. Let's see how the deformer affects the bevel corners. Okay. A little bit bigger. Awesome. I'm coloring, passing the information from the line art to the coloring this thing. Now, next piece. I'm going to grab this same thing, put it here, rotate, smaller, and checking these lines. Something like this. See how this connects. Let's see if that works. I'm missing that sharp corner there. See that sharp corner there? Okay. Let's continue. Carmen's a bitch. Oh, so. Whoopsie, it's not connected. Now this same shape. Something like this. This comes something like here. Maybe I can have a triangular shape here, something like this. This will come here, this will come here. Moving this shape like this. Let's go normal corners. Maybe I can add another layer which is going to be like a peak that goes there and connects, so I can have those sharp corners. That'll make everything more, a lot more steps into the animation process, so that's something that I have to consider too. Poop. This middle leg will come here, and this upper leg will be there. Look. Is horrible. Okay. Why, dude, you're not connecting? You're not auto patching with these things? Be part of the society and auto patch, please. So you auto patch with this. No? Oh, you need to be auto patching with this dude too. Actually, you should be auto patching with this dude only. Yes. Amazing. What the is this? Oh. Actually, I don't need this line. Get out of here. Nah. Maybe I do need that line. I can just grab this thing and move this. That sharp corner. So if I was able to get a sharp corner like that, it means that I can get a sharp corner like this. No. Dude, it's such a shame that I cannot swear in YouTube, right? A friend of mine told me like told me like, yeah, dude, you cannot swear on YouTube, and I'm like, no way, that's not possible. I was looking for a free place to say whatever I want. No, I cannot even do that. But it's okay. I can control that. I think so. So poop, 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 and then this comes here. This comes here. Oopsie. This comes here. Black. And then the only thing that I need to do to hide that thing is grabbing this and moving down a bit. See? Beautiful. We just have to treat this dude very well and peacefully. Okay, let's get out of here for a bit. Let's turn off the cleanup. How long is this video? 1 hour. Where is the clean? Where is the clean? So I need to auto patch this leg with the body. So this line art thing here. No, wait. Okay, look at this tricky thing. I'll need to grab the outer patch of the mid leg, put this thing here out of this multiport thing, connect this thing also here out of this, take this cutter out of here, put this cutter here, connect this cutter here, connect this outer patch to this, but also create a composite. So this cutter, so the outer patch of the hips are going to also connect and cut that dude. You see? It worked. Now, it's cut in there. I'm going to tweak this body a little bit, something like this. To get to that straight line over there. Now this. Let's go if this works. Oof! Oh, because you don't have deformers, dude, because of that. But the moment that I'll put you a deformer, let's put a deformer. Let's face our fears. Display 2. Deformation chain. And then plaque. I'm going to put 3 deformers around you, so just stay there, MF. Oopsie. Let's see how you behave. Ay, la concha tu madre. You see? You saw that, dude? This dude is so stupid. What if I massage that deformer? It worked. It worked, dude. Why? Dude, I don't want this to be like a. Dude, why that worked? I don't, I don't believe, dude. I don't want to be happy right now. I already. No, 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 no. Dude, what I did. Can I repeat what I did? It's broken, it's awful, and what I just did was grabbing this control, this deformer here. Yeah, it's not working anymore. See, that's why I was like, no, no, no. I cannot scream happiness. Okay, I put this like, too much it breaks. Let's work, let's work. Let's leave it like that for now. And yeah, next video, I'm going to continue with the other leg, and now let's continue with the other leg. This dude also, I need the overlay. This should be overlay, poop. And where are you? Overlay overlay layer. You have to come here. Liar, liar, if you keep it score, we are for your boys at best. There you go. Key. And now I'm going to clone this leg. Look at that pivot point. Where's that dude? Is this lower leg thing? Come here, dude. Oopsie. Come here. Okay, I have to copy and paste this. Beautiful. This middle leg is there, and this upper leg is there. Amazing. So we have this chain. So I can get different type of shapes on this leg. Awesome. And the formers I only have there. Let's put the formers here too. Display 2. And add the formation chain. Add the formers here. Let's put 3 here at the bottom. 3 here in the middle so I can move this like crazy. Oopsie. Maybe I can put 3 around this dude because it's a corner. I don't know. Nah, skip in the middle. There you go, something like this. Oriented peg. Amazing. So I can connect this shape. What if I make this dude now like bevel corners? Liar, liar, liar. Let's keep the bevel corners. No, it's not going to work. Let's keep the sharp corners then. Yeah, it's better. Well, it's working. I'm not like I'm not going to hype anymore on that because I know that it might not work again. So yeah, something like this. Awesome, it's working. Now this leg I'm going to duplicate, clone to your side. So I'm grabbing this nodes, clone selected drawings, connect this, put a cutter on this thing, and putting another composite here on this cutter, grabbing this auto patch from the hips, and connecting this dude here also, and connecting this other dude here also, and connecting this leg here, grabbing a peg, and moving this peg to the side. And then making this leg a little bit smaller. Awesome. Then a static transformation. Bake blah 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 all in media things. Poop. No, I have to send backwards. Now let's bake this thing. Oopsie. Bake blah blah blah. get rid of this and put the pivot point here, black. I'm saying bake blah 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 because I already explained that how that bake thing works on the other two rigs. So there you go. This is the legs master peg, which I can keep there. So we rig the body and the legs on this video. Nice. Next video we go and rig the 3 heads and the 3 necks and the 3 eyes and the 3 ears and the 3 everything. I'm going to heat my coffee because it's super cold, and as always extending the screen to full screen to tell you thank you for watching this video and see you next time. Bye.